Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today's video is all about a truly fascinating piece of American coinage, the 2003 Alabama state quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, known by some collectors with the code P1836. But what does that mean? Is this quarter worth more than face value? Could it be sitting in your change right now, quietly worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Stick around because we're diving deep into this coin's design, mintage numbers, known errors, collector demand, and how much you could actually sell or buy one for. In today's market history and background, let's rewind to the early 2000s. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, releasing 5 unique quarters per year, each celebrating one of the 50 U.S. states in the order they joined the Union. Fast forward to 2003, the 5th year in the program. That year, the U.S. released quarters for Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, and Arkansas. Alabama's quarter was the 22nd coin in the series, and it was released into circulation on March 17, 2003. What makes it special is not just its design but also the woman it features, Helen Keller, making this the first U.S. coin to honor a person with a disability. The inclusion of Braille on the coin was also a first in U.S. coinage history. Design details: the Alabama quarter was designed by Norman E. Namath. On the reverse side, it features Helen Keller seated with her name and standard text and in Braille above her. She is flanked by longleaf pine branches, the state tree, and camellias, the state flower. Along the rim is the inscription "Spirit of Courage." The obverse, or front side, has the traditional portrait of George Washington that appears on all state quarters. If your quarter was minted in Philadelphia, it will have a small P mint mark to the right of Washington's ponytail. And now, about that mysterious P1836 number. This is a reference often used by collectors or sellers to identify specific coin types or catalog entries, such as those found in Whitman coin folders, NGC, or PCGS listings, or database inventories. It does not appear on the coin itself. Mintage and availability. So how common is this quarter? Well, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 225.8 million Alabama quarters in 2003. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but condition, rarity of die varieties, and specific error types are what makes certain examples extremely valuable today. The Denver Mint also struck Alabama quarters that year, but they're marked with a D. Today, we are focusing on the P quarters, error varieties, and rare examples. And now let's talk about where things get interesting: minting errors. There are several types of Alabama quarters with recognized errors or varieties that make them more desirable and valuable to collectors. Off-center strikes, quarters where the design is clearly misaligned. Depending on how off-center the strike is, these can range in value from $20 to over $150. Die clashes. This happens when the dies strike each other without a coin planchet in place, leaving behind ghost-like images from the opposite die. These can add between $50 and $200 in value depending on severity. Double die. In rare cases, a doubling of the design can be seen on the lettering or images. While no extremely famous double die has been found for the Alabama quarter yet, minor examples have sold for $25 to $100 depending on visibility. Broad strike errors. These coins are struck outside the retaining collar, causing the edge to be wider and flatter than normal. These errors can be worth around $40 to $75. If you think you've got one of these error coins, it's definitely worth getting it authenticated and graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Grading and value. Speaking of grading, condition is key in determining a coin's value. A circulated 2003 P Alabama quarter is generally only worth its face value, 25 cents. However, if your coin is in mint state condition, say MS65 or higher, the value increases significantly. An uncirculated example in MS65 condition may fetch between $2 and $5. MS67 examples can be worth $20 to $40, and higher grades like MS68 can bring in $150 to $300 or more, especially if there's an error involved. As of 2024, the highest recorded auction sale for a 2003 P Alabama quarter was over $1,000 for an MS68 example with a known die variety. These top-grade coins are extremely rare, but they do exist. Collector interest and market trends. So why is this coin drawing more attention now? One reason is the growing interest in modern U.S. coinage and state quarter errors. As collectors search to complete sets or find high-grade examples, demand for the rarer and more pristine coins increases. Another reason is its historical value. The depiction of Helen Keller, the use of Braille, and the symbolism in the design all make this quarter an iconic piece of modern American numismatics. In addition, more people are searching their spare change. coin rolls, and old collections, especially with rising coin prices and gold and silver values bringing increased attention to all US coins. How to find one? Want to find one of these quarters? Your best bet is to start looking in old coin jars, bankrolls, or inherited collections. You can also buy rolls of 2003 quarters online or from coin dealers and hunt for high-grade or error coins. If you already have a 2003 Alabama quarter, check for any unusual features, like doubled letters, misaligned edges, or die cracks. Even small imperfections can mean big profits. Conclusion is so, is the 2003 1836 Alabama quarter worth big money? In circulated condition, probably not. But if you have a high-grade mint state example or an error coin, it could be worth hundreds, possibly even over $1,000 at auction. That's why it pays to know what you're looking at. Don't overlook that quarter in your change. It could be a hidden treasure. We are diving deep into the world of coins, and in particular, we are going to explore one special modern coin that has taken collectors by surprise, the 2006 North Dakota quarter. And now, if you're holding onto a jar of loose change or you've recently come across a quarter with the date 2006 and a little D mint mark on it, don't toss it away just yet. That coin might be worth way more than 25 cents. Some rare versions have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on their condition, errors, and rarity. Let's explore what makes the 2006 1867 mint mark North Dakota quarter so interesting, what to look out for, and how much it could be worth today in the coin collecting market. In 2006, as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, the North Dakota quarter was released. It was the 39th coin in the series, and it beautifully depicts two American bison grazing on the plains, with dramatic buttes rising in the background. The coin celebrates the natural beauty and rich history of North Dakota. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where many of these coins were struck. Now you might be wondering, what does D 1867 mean? This refers to a special numismatic shorthand used in listings by some collectors and dealers, indicating the year the state was admitted to the Union, which for North Dakota was 1889, but often mistakenly mixed with 1867 due to labeling inconsistencies or variety coding. Regardless, the focus is on 2006 North Dakota quarters with special characteristics or errors. The Denver Mint produced over 360 million of these North Dakota quarters. So, naturally, in circulated condition, these coins are still very common. That if you find a regular 2006 North Dakota quarter in your change and it shows signs of wear, it's probably worth face value, just 25 cents. However, if the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it's crisp, shiny, and without scratches, it might be worth a bit more to a collector. In mint state 65 condition, these coins typically sell for about $2 to $5. Still not a fortune, but more than face value. Now here's where things get really exciting. Some of these 2006 quarters have mint errors, and that's where the value can skyrocket. Let's talk about the most common and most valuable errors found on this coin. Some coins were struck with misaligned dies, leading to doubling on the letters, numbers, or design features. These are known as doubled die errors. If you see noticeable doubling in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 2006, you could have a rare treasure. Depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling, these coins can sell for $50 to $200 or more. Coins that are struck off-center, where the design is not properly aligned, can be worth quite a bit. The more dramatic the off-center strike, for example, if 30 to 50% of the design is missing, the higher the value. These coins have sold for as much as $300 to $500, especially in uncirculated condition. Another popular error to look out for is the missing clad layer. Modern quarters are made with a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. When the outer layer is missing, the coin appears copper-colored and can be worth a lot to error collectors. These have been known to sell for between $100 to $300. Sometimes the minting dies crack or break during production. When this happens, a raised line or blob appears on the coin. These errors are known as die cracks or cuds. On the 2006 North Dakota quarter, these can appear along the bison's back, the rim of the coin, or even near the date. Depending on their size and location, they can fetch anywhere from $10 to over $100. If you think you found one of these rare coins, the next step is to have it professionally graded and authenticated. Reputable services like PCGS or NGC can evaluate your coin and assign it a grade based on condition and rarity. Coins that receive grades of mint state 67 or higher can command significant premiums even without errors. For example, in recent years, a 2006 North Dakota quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold at auction for over $500. That's right, $500 for a modern quarter, simply because it was nearly perfect. The current coin market remains strong, especially for state quarters in high grades or with rare errors. With inflation on the rise and collectors looking for modern US Mint rarities, demand for error quarters has only increased. As of this year, collectors continue to search for high-grade or error examples of the 2016 North Dakota quarter. Online platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections regularly see these coins listed and sold for anywhere from $50 to over $1,000, depending on their unique features. Take out your coin jar, look through your pocket change, and inspect every 2016 North Dakota quarter you find. Use a magnifying glass and look for doubling, off-center strikes, missing layers, or unusual features. Keep an eye on luster and sharpness. Coins that look brand new could be mint state. Hold on to any promising coins and consider submitting them to a grading service if they look especially sharp or show signs of rare errors. And remember, even if you don't strike it rich, you're learning about history, numismatics, and the hidden value that might be sitting right in your change. Video, we're diving deep into the world of modern coinage to explore the hidden value behind a seemingly ordinary coin, the 2013 quarter dollar with the P Mint mark. While many think these coins are just pocket change, some 2013 quarters are actually worth much more than face value, sometimes selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. If you've got a 2013 quarter with a P Mint mark, don't spend it just yet. You could be holding on to a small fortune. Let's find out what makes these coins so valuable, which ones to look for, and how much they're selling for in today's coin market. Let's start with the basics. In 2013, the United States Mint produced 5 unique quarters as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Each of these quarters commemorated a national site from a different U.S. state. All of them were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Today, we're focusing on those minted in Philadelphia, which carry the P Mint mark. The 5 designs released in 2013 were White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial in Ohio, Great Basin National Park in Nevada, Fort McHenry National Monument in Maryland, Mount Rushmore National Memorial in South Dakota. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of each of these designs. At first glance, none of them seem rare. But here's the twist: rarity in the world of coins isn't always about how many were made. Sometimes it's about condition, errors, varieties, and collector demand. Now this is where it gets exciting. Some 2013 quarters with the P Mint mark have been found with unique errors in die varieties. Let's look at some of the most notable examples of double die errors. Some 2013 P quarters have double die obverse or reverse features. These are errors that occur during the minting process when the coin is struck more than once out of alignment. Collectors will pay big premiums for clear, visible doubling, especially on inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or design details like the trees or architecture. Off-center strikes. These errors happen when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned with the dies, resulting in part of the design missing. A 10% to 50% off-center strike can increase a coin's value exponentially. Die cracks and cuts. These small breaks in the die result in raised lines or lumps on the coin's surface. Some of these errors are relatively common, but extreme examples can bring in serious cash from eager collectors. Missing clad layer. Some quarters have been found with one layer of metal missing, showing a copper-colored surface on one side. These are rare and highly desirable, often selling for over $100. Now, let's look at real-world sales. Here are a few examples of 2013 P quarters that have sold for significant amounts of money. A 2013 P Mount Rushmore quarter with dramatic obverse doubling recently sold at auction for over $300. Another 2013 P Perry's Victory quarter with a 40% off-center strike fetched $175 on eBay. A high-grade 2013 P White Mountain quarter graded MS68 by PCGS sold for $1,200 due to its flawless condition and extreme rarity at that grade level. These aren't just isolated examples. Many collectors are searching for these coins right now. The demand for modern mint errors and high-grade quarters is growing every year. So how much is your 2013 P quarter worth? Here's a general guide. Circulated examples with no errors are usually worth face value 25 cents. Mint state coins with minor errors can bring in $10 to $50 depending on rarity. High-grade coins in MS67 or MS68 condition, especially if slabbed by PCGS or NGC, can sell for between $100 and $500 or more. Major error coins or rare varieties can command over $1,000 at auction if authenticated and in strong demand. If you think you've got something special, it's worth having the coin evaluated by a reputable grading service. Companies like PCGS and NGC can provide a grade, authenticate errors, and significantly increase your coin's resale value. Finding one of these valuable 2013 quarters starts with careful observation. Here's what to do: use a 10x magnifier to inspect key details, lettering, date, and design features. Look for anything unusual like doubling, raised lines, missing letters, or off-center design elements. Weigh your coin. A typical plaid quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, it could be an error. Store high-grade or error coins in protective flips or holders to prevent damage. Keep track of recent sales and auctions. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and PCGS Price Guide are great for monitoring market trends. The 2013 P Mint Mark quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin, but as we've seen, certain varieties, errors, and high-grade examples can be worth big money. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, these coins are worth checking your change for. So next time you get a quarter in your pocket or change jar, take a closer look. It just might be a hidden gem worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 2015 D Mint Mark quarter dollar, a coin you may have in your pocket right now that could be worth big money. That's right, not all quarters are created equal. Some rare varieties and errors from the Denver Mint in 2015 have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. In this video, we'll uncover what makes these coins valuable, the history behind them, and exactly what to look for if you want to cash in on one of these elusive gems. Intro music and channel branding, 0:45 to 1 o'clock, Segment 1, background on the 2015 quarter series, 1 to 2:30. In 2015, the United States Mint released a series of America the Beautiful quarters, continuing the program that began in 2010. These quarters commemorated national parks and historical sites across the country. 5 designs were released that year, and each was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. Today we're zeroing in on the Denver Mint coins, those with the D Mint mark. The 5 designs include Homestead National Monument of America in Nebraska, Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware, Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. These designs are all beautiful in their own right. But it's what lies beneath the surface, the hidden errors and rare varieties, that can make these coins worth far more than face value. Segment 2, Understanding the D Mint Mark, 2:30 to 3:45. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, one of the primary coin-producing facilities in the United States. In 2015, millions of quarters were struck there. However, a small percentage of these coins left the mint with die errors, double strikes, and unique varieties that collectors are now hunting for. Because Denver minted coins tend to have slightly sharper strikes and higher production numbers, most people overlook them, but as you'll see, that's a mistake. Segment 3, Rare Varieties and Errors Worth Big Money, 3:45 to 7:30. Let's get into the juicy part, the errors and rare varieties. Here are the most sought-after 2015 D quarters. Homestead Quarter, Double Die Reverse, DDR. One of the most famous error coins from 2015 is the Homestead Quarter with a double die reverse. Look closely at the windows on the house or the water pump. Some examples show clear doubling. Depending on the severity, these coins have sold from $25 to over $100 in high-grade condition. Kisatchie Quarter, misaligned die strike. This is a favorite among error collectors. Some Denver minted Kisatchie quarters were struck off-center or with misaligned dies. These quirky errors can fetch between $50 and $300 depending on the error's visibility and the coin's condition. Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter, die cracks and cuds. Coins with die cracks, also called cuds, are highly collectible. On the Blue Ridge Parkway Quarter, look around the rim for signs of excess metal or raised lines where the die began to deteriorate. A well-placed cut error can drive the value up to $100 or more. Bombay Hook Quarter, die clash or retained cut. Collectors have reported die clash errors on the Bombay Hook quarters. That means parts of the obverse image are visible on the reverse due to the dies striking without a planchet in place. These rare finds can sell between $75 and $400 depending on grade. Saratoga Quarter, partial collar strike. This unusual error can give the edge of the coin a flattened, off-center look. If you find one of these in circulation, it could easily be worth $150 to $500 or more at auction. Segment 4, Grading and Condition, 7:30 to 9:30. Now remember, condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Most of these error coins only command high prices when they're in mint state, usually MS63 and above. Coins graded by PCGS or NGC with errors authenticated and labeled will sell for significantly more. Even a common coin with a rare error in high grade can skyrocket in value. So, if you think you've found something special, it's worth sending it in for professional grading. Segment 5, Current Market Value and Auction Results, 9:30 to 11 o'clock, let's talk numbers. Here are a few real auction results for 2015 D quarters. A 2015 D Homestead DDR in MS66 sold $4.129. A misaligned Die Kisachi quarter in MS64 brought in $2.75. A 2015 D Bombay Hook Die Clash in MS65 sold for over $3.80. A Blue Ridge Parkway cut error sold raw ungraded $4.115, and it doesn't stop there. With demand for America the Beautiful quarters still strong, prices for high-grade errors and varieties continue to rise, especially for Denver minted coins, which are becoming harder to find in uncirculated condition. Segment 6, Tips for Finding Valuable Quarters, 11 to 12:30. So how can you find one of these money-making quarters? Start by searching bankrolls or change from everyday transactions. Use a 10x loupe or digital microscope to inspect fine details. Focus on the homestead end. Bombay Hook quarters from Denver, they're known for having the most varieties. Join online forums or social media groups where collectors share new finds and auction results. It might take patience, but the hunt is half the fun and the reward could be worth hundreds. Segment 7, Final Thoughts and Call to Action, 12:30 to 13:30. The 2015 D Mint Mark Quarter Dollar Series is a modern treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just getting started, keep your eyes peeled for these underrated gems. You could find a coin that's worth far more than 25 cents. We're diving deep into the world of 2016 D Mint Mark Quarter Dollar coins. We'll explore the full story behind these coins, their key varieties, and why some of them are worth a surprising amount of money in the collector's market today. So don't go anywhere. Let's begin with the basics. In 2016, the United States Mint continued its America the Beautiful Quarters program, honoring 5 national parks and historic sites that represent American heritage. The Denver Mint, which uses the D Mint mark, struck millions of each of these designs. The 2016 D Quarter Series includes the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap in Kentucky, Harper's Ferry in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, Fort Moultrie in South Carolina. Each design had both Philadelphia and Denver versions, and some San Francisco proofs. But today we're focusing specifically on those struck at the Denver Mint, the ones with the D Mint mark on the obverse, just next to Washington's ponytail. Let's talk about mintage. The Denver Mint produced tens of millions of each 2016 design. For example, Shawnee D Quarter, over 151 million coins minted. Cumberland Gap D, roughly 223 million. Harper's Ferry D, over 251 million. Theodore Roosevelt D, around 223 million. Fort Moultrie D, approximately 223 million as well. These numbers tell us that the coins are common in circulation. So why should we care about them? Well, within those millions are rare and valuable varieties, coins with mint errors, die varieties, and high-grade conditions that can be worth far more than 25 cents. Here's where things get interesting. Let's take a closer look at some known varieties and errors found in 2016 D quarters. Harper's Ferry Double Die Reverse. This error shows strong doubling in the words Harper's Ferry or the building itself. Coins with strong doubling can sell for $75 to $300, depending on condition. Cumberland Gap Extra Trees Error. On some Denver minted coins, there are signs of die chips that make it look like there are extra trees on the hillside. These oddities, while not true doubled dies, have become collectible, often selling for $5 to $15 depending on severity. Fort Moultrie struck through errors. Coins with grease-filled dies, die chips, or struck through debris can have missing or distorted elements. Some examples sell for $10 to $50 online. Off-center strikes. An off-center error, especially one with 10% or more of the design misaligned, can be worth $50 or even $100 or more if the date and mint mark are fully visible. High-grade examples. Coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are much more rare than you think. A Fort Moultrie D quarter in MS67 has sold for over $300 at auction. The Shawnee D in MS67 can go for $100 to $250 depending on demand. So what should you look for in your change or rolls of quarters? Step 1. Check the mint mark. You want to see that D to confirm it's from Denver. Step 2. Use a 10x magnifier to examine the design. Look at the details, especially lettering in areas where die doubling or die chips might show. Step 3. Inspect the condition. Coins with minimal wear, sharp edges, no scratches, and strong luster have a better shot at high grades. Step 4. Compare to images from reliable sources like PCGS or NGC. There are reference images of error coins that you can compare your finds to, and finally, always handle coins by the edges. Oils from your fingers can damage the surface and reduce the value. Now for the big question, what are 2016 D quarters worth right now in the current market? Let's break it down. Circulated commons are worth 25 cents. No surprise there, minor die chips or grease errors. $1 to $10 mid-grade mint state examples, $5 to $25 high-grade examples, $100 to $300 plus known varieties like strong double dies, up to $500 for verified and slabbed coins. If you come across an error coin, getting it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC can massively boost its value and appeal to collectors. Also, coins with CAC or QA stickers, which represent a premium eye appeal, have been known to go for even higher amounts at auction. You might be wondering, is it really worth going through rolls of 2016 quarters? If you enjoy treasure hunting and have a good eye, the answer is yes. People are still finding mint errors and high-grade examples in pocket change, especially in states where Denver coins are more common. Roll searching at banks, estate sales, or even local flea markets can be fruitful, and here's the thing, these coins are still relatively young. As time passes and more are taken out of circulation, demand for the better preserved examples will increase. So there you have it. The 2016 D Mint Mark quarter dollars, a fascinating modern issue with more value and history than most people realize. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about coins, these quarters are worth your attention. We're diving deep into the 2022 P Mint Mark quarter dollar coins, and trust me, some of these coins are turning heads in the numismatic world. From rare varieties and unique errors to skyrocketing auction prices, the story behind these modern quarters is more fascinating than you think. So sit tight, hit that like button if you're excited, and let's uncover how an ordinary-looking 25-cent piece from 2022 might just be hiding a small fortune. Chapter 1, Background, the American Women Quarters Program. In 2022, the U.S. Mint launched a brand new series called the American Women Quarters Program. This series celebrates the contributions of trailblazing women in American history. Each year from 2022 to 2025, 5 unique designs are being released. In 2022, we got 5 different reverse designs, honoring Maya Angelou, the celebrated author and civil rights activist. Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space; Wilma Mankiller, the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation; Nina Otero Warren, a leader in New Mexico's suffrage movement; Anna May Wong, the first Chinese-American Hollywood film star. Now here's the kicker, all of these quarters were minted with the P mark at the Philadelphia Mint, and while they were produced in large quantities, several varieties, errors, and unique conditions have made some of them extremely valuable. Chapter 2. Understanding the P Mint Mark. So what exactly is the P Mint mark? Simply put, the P indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. For the 2022 quarters, Philadelphia produced millions of each design, but as we'll soon find out, it's not always about how many were made, it's about what makes certain ones different. Keep in mind, Philadelphia was the first mint in U.S. history, established back in 1792, but it wasn't until 1980 that coins from Philly started carrying the P Mint mark, and now, in 2022, this little letter can sometimes mean big bucks if the coin has the right traits. Chapter 3, Key varieties and errors too. Watch FOR. Now let's talk money, literally. Here are the most valuable and sought after 2022 P Mint Mark quarters that you should be checking for in your pocket change, coin rolls, or collection. Die cracks and cuds. On the Maya Angelou quarter, collectors have reported multiple examples of die cracks, particularly around the wings and hand. These errors can fetch between $25 and $100 depending on size and visibility. Dropped letter errors. A Sally Ride P Mint quarter was found with what appears to be a dropped letter error, causing a doubling effect. Such coins have sold for over $150 online due to their rarity and uniqueness. Misaligned dies. A Nina Otero Warren quarter with a misaligned obverse die was graded and sold for over $200. These errors result in a shifted design, giving the coin a ghost-like appearance. Double die reverses. Although rare, some collectors have claimed to find subtle doubling on the inscriptions of the Anna May Wong reverse. Professional grading is crucial here, but if confirmed, these quarters could be worth hundreds. Struck through errors. One of the most dramatic errors involves a Sally Ride quarter with a struck-through grease error on the obverse, muting her facial features. This coin went viral among collectors and later sold for nearly $300 at auction. Chapter 4, Coin Grading Mattrs. If you think you found a valuable 2022 P Mint quarter, your next step should be grading. Coins are typically graded on the Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70. Mint state coins, those graded MS60 and above, are the cream of the crop. But the real magic begins with coins graded MS67, MS68, or higher. A 2022 P. Maya Angelou quarter in MS68 condition sold for over $500. That's not due to an error or a rare variety, it's purely because of its pristine condition and strong eye appeal. In fact, population reports show that high-grade coins for this series are not as common as you'd think, especially from the Philadelphia Mint. Chapter 5, where to look and how to sell. You might be wondering, where do I even begin? Here's a quick strategy: start by checking your change. Don't overlook the obvious. Grab some bankrolls from your local bank and hunt through them. Look closely under a magnifying glass or 10x loop for signs of doubling, cracks, die chips, and other errors. If you think you've got a winner, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. For selling, eBay is a good place to start, but auction houses like Heritage or Great Collections often yield better returns for rare coins. Chapter 6, Market Value Trends. What's hot right now as of mid-2025? Here are the rough market values for top 2022 P Mint quarters based on actual sales and grading trends. Maya Angelou P Mint quarter MS67, $75, $100 Sally Ride P quarter with struck through error, $250, $300 Nina Otero Warren quarter MS68, $350 plus any P quarter with strong double die reverse, $400, $800 plus raw error quarters, uncertified but obvious errors $20 to $200 based on severity. These prices can change quickly depending on market demand, new discoveries, and how many high-grade examples enter the population. Reports.conclusion. So there you have it, the 2022 P Mint marked quarter dollar coins might look ordinary at first glance, but as we've seen, they hold some truly exciting surprises. Whether it's a rare error, a top-grade specimen, or an obscure variety yet to be discovered, these coins are a must-check for any collector or even a casual enthusiast. Remember, the next time you get change from a vending machine, a gas station, or the grocery store, take a second look at your quarters. You just might be holding onto a small fortune in your palm. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about rare coins, hidden gems in US currency, and what to look for in modern change, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and let us know in the comments which 2022 quarter you found. Until next time, keep hunting, and happy collecting. End screen call TOACTION. Thanks for watching. Check out these videos next to learn about other rare modern coins that could be in your pocket right now. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a hidden treasure.